Greetings to all lovers of mysticism and secrets. Antarctica is the most mysterious and least explored continent. The ice that doesn't melt for millennia is truly capable of revealing many new things, including undiscovered forms of life. This southern landmass is covered with a kilometer-thick layer of ice, but it hasn't always been that way. The history of Antarctica is much more enigmatic than it may seem. There are facts that can overturn our understanding of the surrounding world and even Earth's history as a whole. What could be hidden in Antarctica? Let's find out. Harsh conditions, low temperatures, and barren landscapes are how many imagine Antarctica. Just snow and frost, unsuitable for human life. A land where only seals and penguins dwell. But what if there are other life forms there that we simply don't talk about? Antarctica is the sixth largest continent on our planet. This frozen continent is approximately 1.5 times the size of the United States. Can you imagine these dimensions? It holds about 90% of all the ice on Earth. It is the coldest and most inhospitable place. One might think, what mysteries could be hidden there? But ice has a tendency to melt, and as a result, the melting ice reveals artifacts that can revolutionize our knowledge of history. And it's no wonder that many countries are vying for this lifeless land. Maybe they know something we don't? Let's start with the first discovery. Of course, it's hard to imagine anything beneath those thick ice sheets, but it's essential to understand that it's just a shell. What lies inside remains unknown. Scientists once discovered an entire series of subglacial lakes there. The first one was found back in 1970 with the help of radar, but now there are over 400 such lakes. Just imagine 400 lakes beneath the ice. And that's only the part we know about. One of them is a deep lake located in the eastern part of Antarctica. By the way, this particular part has been the subject of research for many years. Expeditions and scientists have been sent there. But what happens beyond that is truly unknown. The lake is situated 55 meters below sea level, and as it gets deeper, the salinity of the water increases. By the way, it's 10 times saltier than the ocean, which means that the water doesn't freeze at all, even though its temperature reaches about -20 degrees. But the most interesting thing about this lake is that it's suitable for life. That's right, beneath those ice sheets, there is such a developed ecosystem that various life forms can thrive there, and they do. Scientists themselves have admitted that they have discovered species of microbes that were previously unknown. Nobody had heard of these bacteria before. And let me remind you that the layer of ice is like a dome that shields the territory from the influence of the environment. So extreme cold or climatic conditions beyond the ice sheet are not that relevant because a separate world is formed within it. There was one incident in history that truly alarmed many people. Strong sources of light appeared beneath the ice, which no one could explain. This extraordinary phenomenon caused confusion among the governments of countries whose observation stations were operating in Antarctica. Scientists were frantically reporting visible bright flashes coming from under the ice during the nighttime. Observers were worried about their safety, as if something truly threatening was happening, and they demanded immediate action. Reports of not only light but also sound anomalies were received from stations located in the vicinity of Lake Vostok. This lake is not as simple as it seems either. Lake Vostok is located beneath a 4-kilometer-thick ice sheet and never freezes. Thermal scanning results have shown that the water temperature in the lake is quite high. Just listen to this, it ranges from 10 to 18 degrees Celsius. Even in a moderate climate, water doesn't always reach such temperatures. And here we have Antarctica. You must agree that with such temperatures, someone could indeed live there. And not just microbes or bacteria. Furthermore, during the exploration, data was obtained indicating the presence of an empty cavity about 800 meters high between the water surface of the lake and the ice dome. This space provides practically ideal conditions for life. The question arises, did nature make such an effort, or are these the fruits of someone's deliberate efforts? Information about the results of recent Lake Vostok research is officially classified. However, it is known that in 2007 drilling was halted at a depth of 3,665 meters. It was resumed only years later, and on January 5, 2012, drilling was completed at the Vostok station. They had reached the surface of the subglacial lake. Subsequently, they ceremoniously presented a vial of water from the lake to the president, and nothing further was mentioned on television. But this is only a small part of the unknown. In reality, sometimes it is possible to catch a glimpse of mysterious findings. Those who are interested in satellite imagery know that our Earth can be studied through Google Maps. So, these maps are occasionally updated, and after such updates, interesting things are often discovered. I think it's worth paying attention to these objects, especially while they are still publicly accessible. For example, if you go to these coordinates, you can notice these strange objects. And what surrounds them? There is nothing around, just protruding forms of an unidentified object emerging from the snow. It somewhat resembles a crest. Take note of the object's symmetrical shape, as if they are part of something buried beneath the snow layer. Each part of the complex found measures at least 50 meters in length. What kind of giant structure could be hidden beneath the snow? Perhaps it is an enormous ship. But how could a ship be in the middle of Antarctica? What do you think about this finding? For convenience, I will duplicate all these coordinates in the comments of this video. Agree, this relief truly resembles a face, and not a human-like one. And again, there is emptiness in the surroundings. Maybe no human foot has ever set foot here. Here is another discovery, the information about which I managed to find on the internet. These are its coordinates. However, the thing is, if you go to these coordinates now, you won't find any information. This finding has simply been removed from the maps. It was discovered in early 2018, and people managed to take screenshots, which we will now examine. We see a hill with 4 consecutive elevations, each row shorter in length than the previous one. Perhaps this finding is part of a structure, the main part of which extends far beneath the snow. The visible part of the object resembles walls and has a through-hole through all the rows. Take a look for yourself. Unfortunately, this object cannot be found on the maps anymore. It simply doesn't exist, just like the objects described above will eventually disappear. So, hurry to see them before the photos are cleaned up. But if you trace the changes in the data about that location from 2018 to 2023, you will notice that in place of the disappeared object, another equally strange object appeared, with a rounded silhouette resembling a spacecraft. It seems that some active activity is taking place there, which we are not yet allowed to know about. It's worth remembering that Antarctica is an isolated land. No planes fly there, and access is strictly prohibited. Due to the harsh climatic conditions, this icy continent is perhaps the most enigmatic place on Earth. Truly exploring it is extremely challenging. However, despite this, the governments of leading countries spare no expense to establish a presence on this land. Until the year 2000, an international team of scientists conducted research on the lake from the American side. But then, control over the operations was taken over by the National Security Agency. One wonders why such agencies are involved there? A representative from NASA stated that this change was dictated by considerations of national security. Later on, they even claimed that the research had been interrupted to ensure environmental safety. There were many different discussions. For example, there is a belief that in 2001, the United States sent an expedition to the region equipped with drilling rigs and even heavy machinery for excavations. Of course, this information was not confirmed by the media. However, one American researcher did write a book about it called The Mysteries of the Universe. Let's not forget that Antarctica was officially discovered in 1820, but maps depicting it existed long before that. It was once a green and flourishing continent. Moreover, detailed maps even show the coastlines of the continent that wouldn't be discovered for another 300 years. And the most astonishing thing is that rivers and mountains are depicted on the map without the icy covering. What does all of this mean? I believe many have heard that in the last century, Germany made careful attempts to explore Antarctica. In any case, Hitler may have been aware of the old maps and all these findings. It became known in the summer of 1945 when 2 German submarines arrived at an Argentine port and surrendered to the authorities. Later on, it turned out that at the very end of the war, they transported Hitler's personal belongings and the most valuable relics of the Third Reich to Antarctica. It was later revealed that regular flights had been established between Antarctica and Germany since 1938. Captives reported that a secret facility codenamed Base 211 was being constructed there. Over several years, geologists, specialists, and thousands of concentration camp prisoners were sent there. Various mining equipment, fuel, and food supplies were also transported. Later, scientists and politicians arrived. Well, I believe you already know about that. Even now, many well-known personalities come here. One wonders, what can be seen there besides snow? Has someone actually managed to obtain any information about Antarctica? It's quite possible. But what benefit can these boundless lands of ice provide? What do you think? Be sure to leave a comment. I think it turned out to be quite interesting. So, subscribe not to miss new videos.